Hi, I'm Mike Kleanowicz, Associate Broker with Cummings & Company Realtors, and in this video I want to talk to you about the home inspection process, how it typically works, what happens during the home inspection, what happens after the home inspection in a regular transaction. So, in a regular transaction, once you get under contract, you're going to have a certain period of time to get a home inspection performed. What will happen is you can either hire your own home inspector or you can decide to go with the home inspector that your agent recommends. I highly recommend that you go with someone that your agent recommends because they've probably been through several inspections with that inspector and they know that they're very thorough and they check everything and all the components of a home. A home inspector should be checking everything in the home. They should be checking all the electrical outlets, they should be looking at the breaker box, they should be getting on the roof if possible, they should be going into the attic, they should be basically running all the appliances and looking at everything in the house because you want to know what you're buying before you actually own it. So it's important to find a good home inspector. Prices for home inspections vary across the board. Depends on the size of the house, depends on if it's a condo or townhouse or single family or how many systems it has or how long it's going to be. So for an actual price of a home inspection, if you wanted to give me a call and tell me how big the house was, I might be able to give you a ballpark, or I could just refer you to a home inspector that I recommend all the time. Now, once the home inspection process starts and you set up your inspection, you have your inspection, typically you're only going to have a certain period of time to get that inspection done. In most of my contracts, it's either a 10 or 14 day period where you have a right to have all the inspections done that you want to have on that particular property. Within that period, you also have to, if you wanted to ask the seller to fix anything, you have to submit the entire inspection report as well as a list of any repairs that you would want to have the seller address. Repairs typically are not supposed to be cosmetic or routine in nature. They're supposed to be like serious issues, like there's an electrical problem we didn't know about, or maybe there's a chimney issue we didn't know about, or something that was discovered that we didn't see when we were actually looking through the home. Because when I work with buyers, I'm trying to look at the home as the home inspector would look through the home as well. So, the buyers typically are like, oh, this looks great, we could put our furniture here, we love this open space. I'm looking at the windows and saying, well, that one looks like it's beat up, look at the grading issue here, look at this issue, this could be a potential issue, because I don't want to see anybody even waste their time getting into a house or getting under contract on something if I think there's going to be a potential issue, unless of course they're willing to deal with it. But typically how it works is once you submit your list of repairs and your home inspection report, then the seller will have 5 days to get back to you to respond what, if anything, they will do. If the seller agrees to fix everything that they said that you asked for, then they have to do everything exactly the way you typed it up. And it is, important that you're very specific with what you want to have done. Don't just say seller to have, outlets and kitchen fixed. You want to say seller to have a licensed contractor or a licensed electrician to, do X, Y, and Z. That way you're actually getting licensed people to do the work on the property. If they don't agree to fix everything, or they only agree to fix some things but not other things, or if they offer you some type of a credit, you do not, in a regular contract of sale, you don't have to move forward with purchasing that property. You could then, respond back that you didn't agree to their counter. Credits are another issue I want to talk to you about, because some sellers want to just throw money at the problems, and that's fine, but you need to make sure that you're still eligible to get the credit, because if you're already getting a seller credit towards your closing costs, you may not be able to use the credit for the home inspection repair items too. But there are options and alternatives that we have to kind of work through that. So that's a regular contract. There is another option called as is. You can purchase a property as is with inspections and the right to terminate, or as is without inspections. So people who are more handy may want to get a better deal on the price with negotiating the contract. They may be willing to purchase it with the as-is addendum, stating they buy it as is with inspections and the right to terminate. Basically, if you did that, what that means is you can have your inspections, you can do everything you want, same period of time that's agreed on by the parties. But if you want to you can either just terminate the contract or you can move forward with the contract. So that happens a lot with properties that are bank owned, foreclosure properties, because the banks typically are not going to make repairs to properties most of the time. And it also happens when a property is in a short sale, because the sellers typically don't have money to cover the cost of those repairs. So other things, once the inspection is completed, you do have a right to re-inspect the property once the inspection repairs have been done, to make sure that they were done to your satisfaction. So you still retain that right to be able to do that. You could actually bring the home inspector back to the property if you wanted to. Another thing that a lot of people don't think about, sometimes people purchasing new construction think, oh, well, I don't need to have a home inspection completed because it's a brand new house and the builder is going to be walking through all this. But you know, I've had many instances where we found issues. What I recommend is doing a home inspection on new construction. It's called pre-drywall inspection. So before they actually hang the drywall up, you have the inspector go in and inspect all the systems, where they can see all the wires, all the plumbing, you know, all that stuff, to make sure that everything looks good, because the county just walks through quickly and they'll sign off on it if it looks good. But you want to have somebody who really is methodical, that looks through everything to make sure that it's all good to go. And another tip with new home construction as well, that a lot of builders don't recommend, but I'm going to recommend to you, is that most builders will fix anything that's wrong with the house for the first 12 months of owning the house. So I'm a big advocate to have a home inspector go into the house at about 10 and a half or 11 months into owning the property, have them go through the entire property, and then anything they find that may need to be fixed, you submit the entire inspection report back to your builder, and hopefully they'll be able to take care of it. So hopefully you learned a little bit about home inspections by watching this video. If you have any other questions, or you're looking for an agent to work with or represent you, feel free to reach out to me on my direct cell phone, or visit my website and fill out a contact form, and I'll be happy to set up a consultation with you, whether it's over the phone or if you want to meet in person, whatever you prefer. So thanks again for taking the time to watch this video, and if you found it very informational, feel free to share it with anybody else you know who may be thinking about buying a house too. Thanks.